The story begins at the royal capital, a woman saying if she could be treated here. Yup, said the female lead of the story, Sharia Helevi. The fee is 50,000 gold. Then she took the money and said, Excellent, thank you very much, and put the money in a glass jar. Whispering can hear it. Oh, I can hear it. The beautiful sound of money. Then a man suddenly come in anger, calling out, Sharia, what do you think you were up to without my permission? Who is the male lead of this story? Crown Prince of Xiphos, Helios Utela? Helios, you bore. I'm in the middle of treating someone, said Sharia. Treatment? Don't tell me. You're actually trying to raise 10 billion gold? Said Helios with a shocked expression. Sharia replied with excitement and said she's going to earn enough gold to end our marriage. All this begins due to religion's difference. There was war for many years between the Empire of Mages, Grimwald, the Empire of Arms, Xiphos. But eventually, Grimwald lost the war and left with no choice but to surrender Xiphos as the victors decided conditions and demand 10 billion gold in reparations. But Grimwald, a poor nation, can't afford that much money, so as a second condition, Xiphos demand their nation's strongest mage will be wed to our nation's crown prince. That's how Sharia was handed over. To Xiphos, a nation without meagres, her powerful magic was adequate compensation. She resolved to get married for the sake of her country, even if her betrothed was the most ruthless knight in the world. Even if he was Helios Utela. The first year of marriage. In a room full of injured soldiers. Don't worry, you'll be better in no time, said Sharia. The injured soldiers. What was the emperor thinking? Making a mage from a conquered nation, the crown princess. All she gotta do is stay in the castle and heal. It's a good fit for her. Even though the emperor welcomed her as crown princess, hoping her magic would strengthen their nation guard. But emperor passed away shortly after the wedding, and the plan emperor had for her scrapped. Now the only thing expected of her is heal injured soldiers. Suddenly Helios come in, badly injured, carried by his companion. Sharia rushed towards him and start healing him. Then suddenly she remembered what the soldiers say a while ago. She nervously requested Helios to go the front lines tomorrow. My magic doesn't need to be used only for healing. I'm sure on the battlefield. Before Shadia could finish her sentence, Helios angrily said, Stop. You would only get in the way. Shadia, shocked by Helios, apologized. Please. Forgive me. And everyone started looking down on her. Just like that, 10 years passed. She worked for her homeland, being recognized by no one. Even her own husband treated her like a hindrance. Suddenly, the second prince of Xiphos, Utela. Greetings, Sharia. Fancy meeting you here. The other day we spoke about harvesting magical energy. Have you decided if you will participate? It was an experiment to harvest Shadia's magical energy so that anyone could use her magic, and it was quite risky. This could be your chance to change how people view you. Let's show my brother the power of magic. Shadia agreed to do after hearing that. Shadia, lost in bad memories and sadness, wasn't able to see that Greed only wanted her magic for himself, to steal the throne from the rightful heir, Helios. He used her and her magic. Greed's experiment not only stole her magic but also had a drastic effect on her health. Helios come to visit her 1 month after she collapsed. How are you feeling? Helios asked. Shadia replied, I can't use my magic anymore. Helios said, You reap what you sow. After hearing that from Helios, she started thinking about the last 10 years. Every day she continued working in fear. If only Grimwald were able to pay 10 billion gold, she wouldn't have been forced to live like this. Shadia wished she would have never had to marry him. After saying that out loud, she lost consciousness, and Helios started panicking and start calling out, Shadia? Shadia? Sharia wake up and found Helios in front of her face. Sharia and said, "What do you think you're doing here? I'm supposed to be dead." Helios tells her to calm down and ask, "What are you talking about? You collapsed in the laboratory." Collapsed? What's going on? Sharia realized she was reborn and come back to the first year of her marriage? Helios said impatiently, "I've got to get back to work. Thanks to you, I have to keep my man waiting." Sharia angrily said, "Are you trying to say I'm getting in the way for collapsing while you're so busy?" Helios stunted for a second, annoyed. "That's not what I am saying. Did you hit your head or something? Watch the tone you're using." Sharia furiously said, "In that case, you should just get out of here." Helios said firmly, "You don't need to come to observe the battlefield tomorrow. Stay in your room for now." Before Sharia could say anything, Helios angrily shouting, "Just shut up and do as you're told." Sharia shaking in fear, lost in thoughts, thinking she got a chance to go back in time? Is she going to repeat the same mistakes again? Determined. "No!" Sharia determined. Call out, "Helios, I'd like to make a proposal. The condition of our marriage was to pay off the 10 billion gold in reparations, correct? So that means if I can earn 10 billion gold, my rule will complete." Helios? If I can pay off the 10 billion gold, please divorce me? Helios said, "Please quit with this nonsense. I'm quite serious, you can tell. You should really learn to know your place." After saying that, Helios leaves the room. After a while, Sharia starts thinking about a plan for how she's going to earn 10 billion gold, but she couldn't decide anything. What is it the nobles of Xiphos would want? She wasn't able to go into town without permission from Helios. She has no idea what's popular right now, and she have no one to speak frankly with. So she decided to go scouting the town, and she started to get changed right away. Then she opened her closet to get some clothes. But first thing she said after opening it is, "Disgusting." Yeah, these are all mine. She brought these so Helios would sleep with her, because she wanted to give birth to the future heir of the empire. But that douchebag, no matter what, don't want to sleep with her, no matter how many times she asked. Because of that, everyone looked down on her. Even the empress told her she was damaged goods. Sharia depressed. Oh well, this is a good chance to just throw them out. "Your Highness, what are you doing in your closet?" said Sharia's personal maid, Melia. Sharia remembers her very well. She come with her from Grimwald, and she stayed with her until she passed away. Sharia is so happy to see her again. "Your Highness, are you crying? Is there something you're sad about?" said Melia. Sharia said, "It's nothing. I am fine. Just some dust in my eyes. More importantly, great timing. Could you throw out everything in my closet for me? I don't need them anymore. I will buy new clothes. Let's go to shopping. Would you lend me a hand?" "But, Your Highness." "Yes, suddenly remembers. Your Highness, earlier the Emperor's was calling for you," said Melia. She also said to bring the Crown Prince and come to see her. "You arrived," said the Empress. Sharia feels gloomy whenever she meets the Empress. The Empress say, "This matter concerns Crown Prince Helios Utella. Duchess Telma Lianio has approval to be your concubine. Say hello." "Yes, I'm Telma Lianio. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, concubine," said. Sharia remembers this day very well. Helios suddenly welcomed this woman to his concubine. Sharia wasn't prepared at all. She panicked and begged not to do this. But Helios welcomed her anyway. Just thinking about it is irritating. The Empress say, "The need for this only arose because you were unable to give birth to an heir. If anything, you should be grateful."
Sharia, biting her lips,
"Wasn't it your son that kept refusing me?"
After that, Sharia say, "Welcome, Miss Telma. I'm so happy that you came to our aid."
"I hope you two get along swimmingly." Empress, annoyed, say, "Don't you understand why this happened? Because you were unable to fulfill your responsibility as a wife." "Is that really true?" Sharia said. Each night she waited for His Highness, but night after night he refused her without reason.
In other words, the one who didn't fulfill their responsibility wasn't her. It was the crown prince. But now that he has you, she can breathe easy. Your Highness, please don't mind me. You two enjoy yourselves. Anyway, I have an errand to run after this. Sharia leaves after saying that and tells herself she don't even care about this concubine anymore. She is going to divorce him anyway. When Sharia was leaving, the concubine was staring at from behind annoyedly. After that, Sharia gets in a carriage and leaves for town.
Sharia, after reaching the town, enters in a shop with her maid. An employee gives her a cup of tea and tells her if she needs anything, just ask her. "Excuse me, I shall take my leave now." Sharia thanks her and tells to wait. She has something to say. She want to ask about some clothes and want to talk about business. Sharia asks her, curious, "Could you tell me what's popular nowadays?" The employee with a fake smile say, "As you wish, Your Highness. I shall arrange you some fashionable corsets to be shown to you as soon as possible." Sharia say, hesitantly, "Okay," and thinks, is she angry? Or maybe it's just her imagination. Then the employee come back and show her some corsets which are popular these days, and tells custom order can also be placed. Sharia say, resigned, "In that case, I guess I'll indulge a little." Then suddenly a cream caught her eyes, and she opened it to take a look. Oh, disgusted. "It smells awful." The employee asked, formally, "Shall I add that to your orders, Your Highness?" Sharia said, "No need to include this," and wonder if she could use something like this for magic and get ready to leave. The employee said, formally, "Once everything is packaged, we shall deliver them to you." Sharia say, "Thank you." Before she can finish the sentence, the employee shut the door. Surprised, "What?" Annoyed. "What's with that attitude? It's like she was trying to kick us out," said Malia. Sharia say calmly, "Let them be. I am sure they are quite busy," thinking she was definitely a bit rude. Though suddenly a little boy accidentally fell down in front of Sharia and Sharia rushed towards the boy and comforts him, saying, "It'll be all right," and start healing him with magic. Suddenly the boy's mother come out of nowhere saying, "What do you think you're doing?" and took the boy away. After that, everyone around her start bad-mouthing her, saying she used a weapon of war on a child. How monstrous! Why is she here anyway? Sharia was in complete shock. She knew that they hates her, but to this where they insult her so blatantly. Suddenly someone from the crowds throw an egg on her head. On the other side, Helios was coming as fast as possible to get Sharia back with imperiled soldiers. Helios worried. Why did she go to the town without his permission? Back then, he swore
He would.
protect Sharia and start thinking about their marriage ceremony. The first time he met Sharia, he never thought she would be so young. Then when he was about to kiss her, their eyes met. What's this? What is this feeling? It's like he was struck by lightning. Well, obviously it's the love at first sight. Since then his feelings for her only grown stronger. Wedding night, I'm inexperienced, but you'll have me, Sharia said. It's something every man wants to hear from their women. Helios, frozen, thinking she seemed so delicate, like she would shatter even if he touched her. 3 months after marriage, he took his butler advice and let Sharia focus on recovery instead of combat. 6 months after marriage, because of rumors, fear of people disliking her, he didn't let her go to the town. Even so, she asked divorce. Now is not the time to think about those things. Helios head towards the town faster. In the town, so cruel. Malia asked, outdid this. 2 guards passing by, "Hey, shouldn't we be looking for the culprit?" Nah, it would be just a pain in the ass, Malia said in fear. Your Highness, let's get out of here. Someone from the crowd say loudly, You freeloader, get lost from Xiphos. Sharia in fury say, Stop right there, and use her magic to caught the culprits. That's good, now nobody will think it's a pain in ass, right? Said to guards standing there, and tells them commanding, You are to hand in resignation as imperil knights. The guards start begging for mercy after hearing that. And just in time, Helios arrived in town. Sharia panicked. Helios asked, What's with all this commotion? Malia starts to explain everything to Helios. Sharia tells herself, Just leave it, Malia. It's useless to tell him anything. After hearing everything, Helios say, He did what? Arrest that man and incarcerate him, and ask the guards where were they when all of this happened. The guards, shaking in fear, beg for forgiveness, but Helios dismissed them as imperial knights and arrest them both. Sharia, lost in thoughts, confused by Helios' actions. What is he thinking? After a while, they returned to the castle. Helios, thinking, Those knights, they were with her, and yet, if it were any other day, I would have sentenced them to death. As a husband, I really am the worst, said out loud. Sharia misunderstood, say, apologetic. As your troublesome wife, I admit, I've caused you problems through my selfish actions. Earnest, please forgive me, but rest assured, determined, once I save up 10 billion gold, I'll be out of your way in no time. Helios say, What are you talking about? Shocked by Sharia's words, Whoa, 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 why is she suddenly saying that? Sharia say, We discussed this. When I have enough money, I'll leave you. Helios, what? She was being serious. Anyway, don't use magic carelessly like today. Sharia say, Why is that? Do you also think magic is only meant for war? Helios tells her that's not what he meant. Worried about what happened today, tells her, angrily, Just don't do it, okay? Sharia say, coldly, If you see me as a burden, wouldn't it be better if I disappeared from your life? Let's go to the lab, Malia. Helios say in anger, No, starting today, you are not allowed to use the laboratory. Firm, until you rectify your behavior, you are not allowed to continue your research. Sharia say, Aren't you the selfish one here? Do as you please, and leave. Helios in his office, angry about what happened. Ask himself, why can't things go the way he wants them to? Suddenly someone knocks the door. Helios thought it was Sharia and tells to come in. Excuse me, I come to ask for the budget, said the concubine Telma. Helios disappointed, Ho, it's you. Telma say, What's with that expression? That's a rare sight. Suddenly Telma get close to Helios and say, Hey, we know each other for a long time and now I'm your concubine too, so… Before she can finish, enough! I've already told you the reason I took you in as a concubine was to keep the Empress out off my back, said Helios. Don't push your luck. Telma tells him in anger, Unbelievable. You must have had a rough childhood to end up this rude. Also stop glaring all the time. Even the butler's scared of you. See you later. Telma leaves after saying that. Helios apologizes and thinks about his childhood. He've long forgotten how to express his emotions. Then the butler tells him, Why not try expressing his emotions a little more? Your troubles might just fade away. Helios, while walking in the hall, thinks about apologizing to Telma and decided to be more honest with his feelings and maybe it will make things better with Sharia. Then he barged in Sharia's room. She tells him to wait. But he go in anyway, and everyone knows what happens when you barged in a women's room. completely frozen by the scene in front of him. Before he say anything, Sharia, angry, say, "Out! Hurry up and get out!" Helios outside the room, embarrassed, say, "Great, now he've really done it." Sharia inside the room, annoyed, say, "Unbelievable. I said wait, didn't I? How could he just barge in like that?" Well, whatever. For now I need to focus on this cream, and starts to apply the cream on her body. The cream works perfectly. This will definitely sell well. Malia knock on the door and comes in with some tea and ask, "Your Highness, have you been doing research this whole time?" Sharia energetic say, "Yup, not a single moment can be wasted, you know." Malia concerned said, "You are right, but don't push yourself too hard, okay?" Oh, something smells really nice in here. Sharia proud say, "You can tell, right? It's the scent of this rash cream. Also, when you rub this on your waist, it makes your waist slimmer. I'll sell this to raise money for my divorce." Malia surprised ask, "You were serious about that? Paying 10 billion gold is no small feat." Sharia confident say, "I can handle it. Now all that left is to see whether the people Xiphos will like this product or not." Thoughtful, "I'm not sure if I can find anyone to help me though." Malia, gentle, tells, "Your Highness, today's been really hectic for you, so why don't you get some rest now?" "You are right," said Sharia. She suddenly had a great idea. The next day she goes to see the second prince Gridutella. "What do you think of this tea? You've seemed tired lately, so I had it prepared for you," said Prince Gridutella. Sharia say it's delightful. "Thank you, Shafos second Prince Gridutella. He's the only person I can think of who might listen to me." Prince Greed always being compared to his older brother's skills, consumed by frustration and jealousy at not being recognized. He eventually plotted to steal Sharia's powers to defeat Helios. Greed asked, "So what is it you wanted to talk about?" Sharia said, "There is something I like you to see. This is a rash cream I made using magic." Greed suddenly asked his maid to bring something and say he also have something to show her. This is a magic power evaluator. It can measure the strength of one's magical power and put the cream on the machine, and it start to glow. "Impressive, right?" said Greed. Sharia was shocked by this, because this is the machine that was eventually used to absorb her power. To think, Greed already had his plan in motion at this point. After that, Greed said, "Do let me know if you've anything magical in the future too." Sharia say, "Very well," and thinks, wait, she was the one who wanted to ask him for a favor. Hesitant, anyway back to he point. Nervous, Sharia ask Greed, "Could you give this cream to the ladies you're close to?" Greed opens the cream and say, "This smell." Sharia say, "It's quite nice, isn't it?" Suddenly Greed gets up and get close to Sharia and touches her face and said, "Princess Sharia, you really are an unfair person." On the other side, Helios is looking for Sharia to apologize for what happened yesterday. Suddenly, he saw Malia and asked her where Sharia is. Malia, without realizing, "Your Highness, she is at the greenhouse." Forgets that Sharia told her to keep it a secret. Helios on the way to greenhouse. Helios arrived at the greenhouse and 2 guards greeted him. He asked the guards, "Is Lady Sharia in there?" The guards tells him she's with Prince Greed at the moment. Helios wondering why she is with Greed and take a look from the windows. Stunned by what he saw, leaves and also tells the guards not to tell anyone that he was here. In the greenhouse, Sharia tells Greed to get away from her. Greed, you startled me. Greed apologies and tells her it's because of the scent jasmine is like an aphrodisiac. He was wondering if she was actually tempting him. Sharia say, "How dare you? That wasn't her intention at all." Greed said it might be better to tone down the scent a little. Someone might get the wrong idea. Sharia say, "Yeah, I get it. Now, getting back on track, I want to start a business using my magic. But first, people need to see magic is safe." Sharia say she won't charge anything for the cream. That way more people will try it. Plus, this cream can also heal damaged skin. Sharia ask, "I'm sure you're aware of the Duke of Lorraine's daughter and her skin condition." The Duchy of Lorraine, one of the 3 wealthiest domain in Xiphos. Since the Duke dotes on his daughter, if the cream can cure her condition, it'd be convenient for Greed as well. Sharia say she want the Duke's daughter to try this cream most. Greed said, "All right, it's a request from Princess Sharia after all." After that, Sharia takes her leaves. On the way to her room, she meets Helios. Helios calls her and apologizes for yesterday. Entering her room without permission, Sharia thinks, why is he looking at me like that, and say, "It's fine. I don't really care much about it now, so..." She tries to leave, but Helios tells her to wait and ask, "With Greed earlier, what were you two discussing?" Sharia say, "It has nothing to do with him," and turn to leave. Helios, "What?" Grab her hand and say, "It has everything to do with him. Is he not her husband?" "Let go of me," said Sharia. Helios tells her, "Wait, we are not done talking yet." Sharia thinking while walking, "You've never once cared about me before. Don't act all husband-like now." Sharia suddenly lose balance while running in the stairs. Helios from behind rushed to save her. Sharia. Fortunately, Helios catches her in time and asks, "Sharia, are you okay?" Sharia say, "Yes. I'm fine now. You can let go." "Ouch." Helios asks, "What's wrong?" "It feels like just a sprain," said Sharia, "but she can heal it with..." Helios suddenly say, "No, you can't. Don't use your magic." Before Sharia could say anything, he carried her to a doctor. Sharia confused? The doctors say it's just a minor sprain. It should be fully healed about in a week. The doctor also said, before he go, he noticed she look a bit pale. "Have she gotten enough sleep recently?" Sharia say, "She might have lose some sleep." The doctors say, "Get some proper rest." Now, if you'll excuse me, the doctor leaves and Sharia asks Helios, "Why did you stop me from using magic?" Helios say, "Using magic takes a lot of effort, doesn't it?" Sharia say, "Just using that much wouldn't take much energy. Anyway, thank you for catching me earlier," and ask, "Was she too heavy?" "Heavy," Helios say. Well, I was just doing what came naturally." After that, Sharia said, "By the way, the reason she've been sleeping so poorly, she had to use her room for research." Helios apologize for making things difficult for her, and he will open the lab back up. Sharia, confused, thinks, "What's going on?" He is not reacting the way how she expected. After that, Helios reopened the lab. 2 weeks passed since then. In the lab, being able to freely research again is the best, said Sharia. Amelia knocks on the door and comes in. "And say, Your Highness, there's something you need to know. I heard the maids talking about your magic cream." Sharia asked, "What did they say?" "Well, About that, they said that the magical cream Sir Greed made was simply amazing, said Melia. After hearing that, Sharia rushed over to meet Greed and say, "There's something I need to ask you, Greed." "My, aren't you in a hurry? Is something wrong?" said Greed. Sharia asked, "Why are people saying that you are the one who created that magical cream?" Greed, with a sly face, say, "Oh, that? Well, of course. I did say at first you made it." Sharia asked, "Then why?" "But it seemed nobody cared once I mentioned your name," said Greed, "and so I didn't have much choice. People here aren't fond of magic, and since it was made by someone from Grimwald, it's only natural they'd reject it. It's a shame, really," said Greed. "Plus, the people of Xiphos find you downright revolting." Sharia returned to her room after that, depressed by what she heard from Greed, determined more than ever to return to her homeland, Grimwald. That's it for part 1.
And that's a wrap. Thanks for watching. If you're excited for the next chapter, let me know by dropping a comment, hitting that like button, and subscribing to the channel. Your feedback helps decide when to release the next one. So stay tuned and I'll drop it.